Well, hello there everybody and welcome to SFR Season 4, the last race of Season 4. It's round 16 and we head to Abu Dhabi and the finale, the absolute finale of Season 4. It's a shame, the season's gone very quickly and we're already at the end. We obviously have our world champion in Honesy, who's not been here for the last couple of weeks, and we also have the Constructors' Championships, which is Honesy's team, and that is Alpha Tauri. There's a few other positions up for grabs this evening though, and I have been given some very what's the word I'm looking for here? Some very accurate stats. I'm believing we have whoever finishes P2. So if Lasser finishes 10 points ahead of Dace, they'll be tied for P2 in the championship, but Lasser will get the spot on the finishing positions. If Lasser wins, Dace has to finish second to keep second place. Cornet can jump up to P4, but he has to win the race. Corbins isn't racing this evening, so Cornet can jump up into P4. But Henry, who has decided to join us late, all he has to do to keep P3 in the championship is to get fastest lap. So watch out for Henry later on, trying to get fastest lap, and just to confirm his P3. That's all he has to do. So just waiting for the grid to select tyres. Let me just send a quick message. Before, there we go, right, because that is there's lots of lobby glitches that happen in this game, unfortunately. That is usually one of them. If you don't select your tyres, you get kicked out. So qualifying is about to start. We're in Abu Dhabi. Obviously, the this year's Abu Dhabi race has got some reprofiled corners, especially the chicane at turns 5 and 6. That's been lengthened. I think the whole chicane is gone now, actually. It just goes straight into the hairpin, and also the left-right towards the end of the track, the end of Sector 2, beginning of Sector 3, has been reprofiled and lengthened as well. So could aim for a few more exciting overtakes. Let's get on board with the first car coming out, which is Indian Jesus. He is the first driver out on track, and as customary, I will always follow the first driver who starts his qualifying lap first. So if Indian Jesus stays ahead of everyone, we will follow Indian Jesus' round for his first flying lap and watch the whole lap, unless he does invalidate. Behind him we have the Alpine of Stewart and the Alpine of Delta. Following very close behind is a Williams, I believe. That would be the Williams of Rainer Zufal, who has made an overtake on Delta, overtake of the race so far. And then we have Exotic not too further behind. There's a Ferrari, a Mercedes, a McLaren, a Haas, another Alpha Tauri, both Red Bulls, I believe. One Red Bull is there, yeah, the other one is coming out of the pits now, and then another McLaren. And we've still got quite a few cars in the pits. We have Will, Dace, Kenya, Bacon, Vengeance, Cornet and Kachow all in the pit lane. So let's get back on board with Indian Jesus. He is the going to be the first driver to cross the line. He is on the medium tyre. He's going to warm those medium tyres up. Let's jump on board from his cockpit and let's watch this lap. So we're going to head down towards turn 1, 90-degree left-hander, heavy braking, down into third gear, short shift up to fourth, and then we come to the very tricky section. Your cars have got to be set up perfectly for here. You don't want to touch that inside curb. You can use a bit of the outside curb there, and then we come to another heavy braking chicane with a left and a right, and a short sharp run to a hairpin few different lines here. Some drivers go out quite wide, some take a really tight line, and the other line is literally just to keep it central. Obviously the wider you go out, the earlier you can get the power on and square up the corner so you can put the power down earlier, but the tighter you go, the more speed you can carry into the corner and run out wide. If you're in the middle, then obviously that's the middle bit here. Now, very easy to lose the car over that inside curb, and especially that outside. He takes a very wide line, probably a lot wider than what he would have liked to have done for that right-hander, but doesn't stay quite as tight as what we saw Dace doing in his hot lap earlier. And then we come to good overtaking spot, this one, into the left-hander, into the right, and into the left again. Quite very easy to invalidate your lap there and also lose the car. And now we come to the double right-hander, and the second part of this right-hander is so hard to get the car slowed down in a straight line before you have to turn into the corner. Very high speed under the bridge, and we're coming towards the end of the lap now. Another left-hander. Watch that wall on the outside when your tyres are screaming, they're overheating. Especially towards the end of the lap, you've got the tendency to run wide and hit that curb. And we're going to come across the line, and we're going to have the first time on the board of a 136.852. Stuart Little does a 136.0. Got some cars coming across the line. Let's jump on board with Delta. He comes across the line, and we've lost Indian Jesus. What's happened to Indian Jesus? Is out. He set that time, and he has crashed on the exit of turn 1. Okay, so that is his qualifying over and done with. At least we got to ride on board with him for a little bit. We've got McLaren's coming across the line. Red Dog has just crossed the line to start his. It was invalid, and Yerdy's coming towards the end of his lap, and Yerdy's lost it. Yerdy's in the wall, but it looks like he is still alive. Yeah, he hasn't DNF'd, so that's good for him. Lasser is coming around the final corner, comes across the line and goes provisional pole with a 35.9 on the soft tyre. So top 3 at the minute are all soft runners. We've got the Haas coming across the line. Is that going to be PHG Vengeance? He comes across the line to start his flying lap. Toss the Cave is still in the pit lane. Red Dog is invalidated again, his lap unfortunately. Bacon is coming down the back straight. Very good spot for overtakes here. But you have to be ahead by the time you get to this, obviously that tricky left-right-left chicane. This is the bit, that's the bit they've reprofiled. Made it a little bit wider, not quite so much a heavy braking zone. A couple of cars running wide, getting out of the way. Who's this ahead of him? It's Rainer Zufal. Hopefully he will, yeah, he gets well out of the way for Bacon to continue his lap. He is on the medium tyre as well. So Stuart Little is out of the way. Currently in P2 is Stuart Little. Righty Boys pops up with a 136.9 on the soft tyre. Bacon goes just faster than that with a 136.8 on the medium tyre. There's a few drivers coming out the pit lane, as you saw with their the tags as they were coming out. And that is that an Alpine? No, it's Toss the Caber in the Haas. So he finally comes out the pit lane. Red Dog is going to start another flying lap. He's going to try again. He's charged his ERS up as he comes around turn 1 into turn 2 and then turn 3. Let's say avoid that inside curb, but you can use the outside curb here, which he does nicely, and then uses that outside curb as a braking marker. Puts the power down into the hairpin. Unfortunately for him, Dace has already slowed down, so he's not going to get the benefit of a bit of a slipstream down there. He has got the McLaren of his teammate up ahead in Yerdy, so we'll see if Yerdy slows down. I don't know if Yerdy's he's on an outlap, so he might slow down and give him a bit of a tow down this back straight. Oh, and Red Dog loses on the exit of that corner. Loses the back end, so it's very easy to do, and that would probably be his lap over and done with. Dace is getting a good slipstream off his teammate. No, he's backing off. He's on his in lap, I believe. Cornet. Didn't see what Cornet did. He's popped up with a provisional pole time of a 35.6. So I say we don't know what's happening there. He's hopefully not doing a Max Verstappen and slowing down and brake testing people. Ooh. Gonna get some hatred for that, I believe. But hey, Who cares? I'm the one talking. No one else is. So corner comes into the pits. Dace is fighting with his teammate. As they come round, Dace is coming into the pit lane. So let's get on board with Viet. Viet is just about to start a lap. Willer's invalidated. Willer's on an out lap. Let's get some off-board shots here of that Mercedes. You still see Indian uses his front wheel there. Marshals haven't had a chance to clear that up just yet. They shouldn't really be falling off. They're tethered onto the car. If they fall off, it means something's gone wrong. As unfortunately, Viet invalidates through that part of the chicane. Well, Delta was going a little bit sideways there, but he was all right. He was all right, and he is using these soft tyres. Alpine have obviously run out of money, and they can't afford soft tyres, so they're letting Delta do God knows how many laps. They're giving all the good tyres to Stewart, who actually has a chance of doing well in this race. Tommy Lee, late incomer in the Alpha Tauri. Runs very wide there, keeps his lap valid though as he comes around the final few corners into the last sector. As I said, a very tricky double right-hander into the braking zone. Missed the apex a little bit there, could have stayed a little bit tighter and runs a bit wider there than he probably would have liked to. Didn't quite straighten up the corner. Wow, Henry. And there goes Dommy round, around. And yeah, that's his lap done. And he's probably damaged his rear wing there. That's not good news for Dommy. See what he does. But Henry goes provisional pole. And Toss the Caber as well went faster. I'm missing all these fastest laps coming in. So Toss has done a 35.4 ahead of Cornet, and Henry's done a 34.8. So that's a good time there from Henry. Stewart is on another flying lap, and he is just coming down the first long straight. The yellow flag, a slow moving Haas. Stewart into the heavy braking zone here, goes his left. Kisses that inside. You can take that much curve, that's fine. Don't want to take too much more of that though. And there you go, stays very tight to that inside line. Under P0. And heavy braking into this corner. So let's watch this guy. It's a good camera angle there as you watch the Alpine on rails. And commentator's curse. The Alpine on rails, and then it suddenly derails and goes round. Okay, I'll stop saying stupid things. So Lasser, who he has, you might want to subscribe to his Twitter page, his Facebook page, and his website. He is running the Max Verstappen fan club right now, and they're currently sending out nasty emails and letters to anyone in the Lewis Hamilton fan club. As he runs pretty wide there, keeps it in within the track limits though. Bit twitchy on the exit, bit of oversteer. Car number 34, one away from his hero, which is 33 of Max Verstappen, and Lasser just starting his, I think he was just starting his flying lap, or is he, twitchy over the curb there. That Red Bull is a bit twitchy though sometimes, especially when there's a Mercedes following behind. It does get a bit twitchy, and it does feel like it just wants to invariably turn into, and there you go, there's another Red Bull completely missing a corner, and then driving off track. Shame there wasn't a Mercedes. It normally only does that when there's a Mercedes nearby, as it starts to push it off the track. Anyway, I'll stop the bashing. Dace is set a personal best middle sector, so he's on for a good lap here. What's this? He hasn't come up with his sector time just up there, how far ahead he is. So let's ride on board with Dace through these final few corners. As he comes into the, again, just avoids hitting that wall there. So it's very, very easy to do, especially towards the end of the lap when you're on going full beans. and the tyres do start overheating a bit, and Dace goes P2 with a 35.3, so he's currently, what's the, let's have a look, gap to the leader. So the gaps at the minute is 4 tenths, or 420, which Dace probably enjoys. I won't go into any more details, but Dace likes the 420. Toss 6 tenths further back in P3. Cornet needs to go a bit faster, find 7 tenths from somewhere. Lasser comes into the pit lane. Stewart, Rayner all in the pits. Vengeance is on a flying lap. I don't know if he is up or down on his time. I haven't got the sector info. So the Haas crosses the line and jumps up 2 positions. Half a second he found there, but still 8 tenths off the fastest lap. Other cars out on track. We have Red Dog, who is on a slow lap. Might have made a mistake there somewhere along the line. Currently in P13, unless he finishes lap. This might be an in lap actually from him. Delta. Doesn't appear to be pushing. He isn't invalidated, he just must have made a mistake. Exotic is invalid. Domily hasn't set a lap yet, and Kachow hasn't either. So let's go back on board with Delta. She comes under the bridge. Just going to hope that Mercedes ahead of him. Does it stay out or does it go in the pit lane? The Mercedes goes in. Delta goes in as well. Abandoned ship, Delta. Abandoned ship. Not sure if you can hear me. If you can you hear me, Delta? No, he's ignoring me. So Vengeance is invalid on this lap. I believe that is just an in lap for him. And we've got Cornet on an out lap and Lasser on an out lap. Whereabouts are they on track? So Cornet's ahead. So we'll stay on board with Cornet right now because he's probably got some time to find. Let's see what this comment's just coming in. It was Delta. He hears me. He hears everything I'm saying. So Cornet starts his flying lap. He comes down, getting very close to those boards. Lots of cars coming out the pit lane, but they shouldn't affect him. Pit lane exit, as you can see, was on the right there, but they come out on the left. There is a car who's come out just ahead of him. That is an Alpha Tauri. I believe that to be the Alpha Tauri of Dummy Lee, which it is. Dummy Lee, very glitchy internet, as you can see his car all over the place a little bit. Hopefully that sorts itself out by the time the race starts. Cornet's not going to get any kind of benefit of a slipstream there as Tommy Lee gets out of the way. Not quite sure why he moved across there, but we'll see how he handles the heavy braking zone chicane. How much curve does he take on the inside? Just kisses the apex, kisses the curve. It stays very close to the inside there, straightens up his car, tries to not scrub as much speed off as possible, and we're going to see what he is a 10th up on his best time, so that's not going to be enough. It'll probably be enough to move him up into P3. We need to find a few more tenths to jump Dace into P2. Just about kisses that inside curb there on the second part of the right-hander. Drifts his car wide. Tyres are probably screaming at this point. They're overheating. And there's a car in the wall. That's Via in the wall. Just off the racing line, so it didn't impact. Oh, very twitchy there from Cornet as he enters the final part of the lap. Stays very wide and does go faster. Goes a tenth and a bit up, so he did find some time. Lasser is 3 tenths up on his best time. 3.5 tenths. This is going to see him jump probably into P2. Depending on how much more time he can gain in the final sector. Lots of cars out on track. I think it's just Indian Jesus, who is obviously DNF'd, is the only car out. Henry's in the way. Henry just gets out of the way for the final part, and Toss is just starting his lap just ahead. And Lasser goes second, only a tenth and a half off Henry's time. Found a lot of time in that last part of the track. I say lots of cars on track. It's a big, ooh, very not a great chicane there from Dace. Stewart staying well out of the way there. Toss is just following through in this. There's a big train of cars there, so that could be good for Toss. If some of them are on out laps. Everyone is on a flying lap though, it appears. Everyone's on a flying lap. He's not going to get the benefit really of a slipstream. Obviously the Mercedes here of Dace has backed out of his lap. And Henry has been disqualified. And Lasser has retired. What's happened? What has happened? While we find that out, Henry's been disqualified, so he's now been pushed to the back of the grid. Lasser has got provisional pole position. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm not really sure what's happened there. There's a Ferrari who isn't moving either. That's Mark of Kenya. Not really sure what's going on there. Mark of Kenya's now retired from the session. Not really sure what's quite going on here. Delta just starts his and that is qualifying over, it looks like. So let's have a quick look. So Dace is Toss managed to get P2 with a okay, so Lasser is on pole unless Kachow is not on a lap, Stewart's not on a lap, Vengeance is not on a lap, Bacon is not on a lap, Red Dog, Exotic not on a lap. So yeah, Lasser had got his second Lasser's got his second pole position in a row. Got pole position last week and another pole position this week. Could toss the Caber in P2, obviously likes this track. And yeah, a bit confused at that ending there. I didn't quite realise the qualifying had finished. The yellow flag, when it flashes up, it's pretty much up all race, all qualifying session. You can't see how much time's left. Oh yeah, Lasser in pole, Toss in P2, Dace in P3 and Cornet in P4. Domi in P5, Kachow P6, Stewart P7, Rayner P8, Vengeance P9, Viet P10, Bacon P11. So the top 11 all within a tenth, all within a second of each other. Now Kachow on the medium tyre. That's a good starting tyre for Kachow. The opposite strategy always works out quite well. Everyone from Bacon down has to start on can start on any tyres, sorry, and everyone above Viet in P10 has to start on the tyres they qualified on. So everyone's in the top 10 is on softs except for Kachow on the medium tyre. Henry got disqualified. And as we just wait for the lobby to ready up, so drivers at the minute are just sorting their race strategy, putting some fuel in the car. So let's have a quick pull up the race director, see what tyres people are putting on. Everyone looks like we have Will, Righty, Yerdy, Red Dog, Exotic and Henry all going for the medium tyre. Everyone else probably is just waiting to confirm the medium tyre, because I would think starting medium is the best option for this race. Few discussions going on in the Discord right now about strategy. Dominique's asking if it's a 2-stop. Lasser's unsure about what he wants to do. I think it's a soft medium for the drivers on the starting on the soft tyre. Henry is saying it's a 1-stop, and Henry's got the medium tyre on. Holmesy is saying go soft medium, so a 1-stop. Holmesy's always one for a different strategy from the rest though, so watch out for what people want to do. It's quite a wide track. Safety cars first half of the season were massive. We had literally about 3 or 4 a race. It's calmed down a lot since then. I think as people have got used to the track, patches have come in and out about from Cody's just readjusting a few bits, putting some parameters out, because safety cars have dropped off by a reasonable amount, but I'm still expecting probably at least 1 safety car today. There is always one mistake in a driver somewhere along the line, and yeah, look out for that. We'll look out for that. The Delta's still starting on the soft, so is Indian Jesus, even though Jesus was putting on the mediums in qualifying. So maybe he's changed his mind. Mark of Kenya, who forgot to turn his ERS on for his 1 qualifying run that he always likes to do, is starting on the softs along with Bacon. So no one's readied up just yet. Holmesy's given some advice to his fellow Dutchie. You're looking, if you start on the softs and you want to do a 1-stop, you've got to go to at least lap 10 before you pit for mediums. But the softs do go off very quickly here, so watch out for that. They've got to watch their race pace. Sometimes, even though you can do the 1-stop and it appears quicker, sometimes putting that second set of fresh tyres on means you go quicker throughout the whole race. So we're going to be going in 25 seconds. We've got the countdown. We're going to do a formation lap, and then we're going to get racing. Very short run down to turn 1. Got to get a good start if you want to make an overtake into turn 1, and then it's a bit of a follow through until we get to the hairpin, where you can get some overtakes. So let's have a quick run through and see what tyres everybody put on in the end. So yeah, Bacon stayed on the softs, Mark of Kenya stayed on the softs, and Delta sneaky went medium right at the end. And I say it's just Kachow in the top 10 on mediums. So watch out for Kachow. He's going to be fast at the end of the race. He's going to push these mediums as far as he can, and then take the lighter car with the lighter fuel load and the rubbered in track with the softs, and the softs will be able to do a little bit more at the end of the race than they are at the start of the race. So I'm expecting Kachow to do a 1-stop, unless we have strategies, etc., with safety cars and VSCs and things like that. So we'll see what everybody wants to do. But Lasser leads us away down the straight. Lots of tyre weaving, warming tyres up. Very wide running Red Bull at the back there. Red Bull at the front and Red Bull right at the back of the grid, which is pretty standard at the minute. Last few years since Danny Ricciardo left, second Red Bull always seems to qualify quite far down the grid, doesn't it? Don't really see a Haas this far up in P2. Mercedes of Dace in P3, Cornet in the Williams in P4. So there we go, there's a tyre strat, soft medium or soft medium. The hards are apparently not very good around here, so watch out for, if anyone puts the hard tyres on, they're going to take a bit of a gamble. So as Lasser's coming into the final part of the racetrack. Holmesy is saying 1-stop is actually best. It is, yeah, it is probably best, but you know, driving standards sometimes. Especially someone like me, I could never make a one-stop work in any race I ever did. Couldn't keep the tyres alive for long enough. I took so much life out of them. And sometimes other drivers do drive a bit too hard, so they might not be able to make a one-stop work. It'd be quicker than to do a two-stop, but we'll see. As Lasser takes the bollard with him, that's an instant disqualification for the Red Bull there, I believe. Dirty driving, dangerous, black and white flag for Lasser. Get him off. So the cars line up. Henry just coming round. So as I said, a Red Bull at the front and a Red Bull at the back of the grid. Henry puts in his grid box, and we're going to be going racing very shortly. All the cars are now on the grid. We're just getting the final bit from the server, and we're going to be starting now. Let's try and get a better view here. So Toss on the right hand side of the screen, Lasser on the left hand side of the screen. Toss will have the inside line, but he will be starting a little bit further back. Toss didn't get a great getaway, and Dace is already up alongside. Lasser moves across. Cornet is pushed into the wall there, and Lasser retains his P1, and Dace takes P2. Cornet drops down to P4, and the Domi Lee in the AlphaTauri slips into P4 there. Cornet down in P5. We have a yellow flag. It is Red Dog is around, and Delta has dropped back down to P19. Cornet is spinning around as well. He's had an incident, so Cornet down in P19. P20 now as Red Dog goes through. I'm not quite sure what happened to Cornet there. Lasser's leading us down the straight. It doesn't look like anyone's really going to make a move into here. Let's have a look at the long off-board shot. Let's go a few. There's the AlphaTauri of Domi Lee trying to go up the inside of Toss the Caber. Doesn't make it work though, and gets a bit squirrely on the exit. And Kachow, all he has to do is drive his own race at the minute. He's got Stuart Little right up behind him. As soon as he moves out of the slipstream though, Kachow just starts driving away. Stuart's looking for the inside, gives a little love tap to the back of Kachow's AlphaTauri there, and we've got Exotic going backwards. Looks like he's been bullied out, and Henry cuts a bit of the chicane there and runs very wide into the side of Yerdy. Lots of oversteer there, understeer, I apologise. And Mark of Kenya has up to P13. Let's have a quick look at the intervals. No, not intervals. Position change, gained and lost. So Rayner has lost 10 positions on the first lap as we approach the end of lap 2. Cornet's lost 16 though, and biggest winners are Indian Jesus up 7 into P9. And as I zoom in on Domi Lee, he is around and into the wall, and he's dropping down the grid. And thankfully ghosted as the Exotic, the Alfa Romeo of Exotic goes through him. Doesn't look like he's got any damage. And Delta Lima looks like he's going to try and get through there, and he does. Rainer Zufau gets through, so Domi's obviously got a few tyre issues, tyre warm-up issues. Cornet in the pits with a new front wing. Dace 8/10 off. Lasser, Stewart very close to the back of Kachow again. DRS is not enabled just yet. It will be enabled at the end of this lap. Mark of Kenya gets past Yerdy, and Yerdy's going to try and fight back up the inside. Doesn't quite make it count, and Henry is very close to the back of this group as well. So is Exotic. Exotic keeping pace. Willans and Bacon are switching positions. Will on the better strategy, I believe. Tyres, please. Tyres. Tyres. Yeah, Will on the mediums, Bacon on the soft. So the soft tyres will obviously be faster at the beginning of the race. We've got a yellow flag. Who is that? That's Mark of Kenya, who's off the track. Comes back on. Didn't see if he got in the way of anybody there, but no, Mark of Kenya is there. Another yellow flag, and it appears to be Mr. Rainer Zufau not having a great final round of the season, and Stuart Little is out. Stuart Little, he's chase up. Come on, where are you? What's happened to Stuart? He's in the wall, and we've got a VSC. Opportunity to come into the pit lane. Is this going to turn into a full course? I don't believe it is, as this car has already gone off the track. So it's not going to be a full course safety car, it's just a virtual safety car. So if you come into the pitch, you won't lose as much time as you normally would. But you will still lose some time. You don't gain as much as you would on a full safety car. That's what Cornet was probably hoping for, a full safety car. And the strategies are just changing their mind all the time now. It's telling us there's a 3-stop. Drivers have got to watch out for their delta. Keep within the delta time, or else you will get a drive-through penalty, which is not what you particularly want. Rayner in the pits, changing his front wing, changing his tyres, put on another set of mediums, and we're racing again. Doesn't look like Lasser got away very well, and Dace is right on the back of him. This is a good chance here for Dace. Is he going to try and outbrake Lasser? No, he's not. But Lasser didn't get away very well there from the virtual safety car ending, and Dace is right on his tail now. Indian Jesus gets past Bacon, so Bacon's not got incredible pace at the beginning of this race, and he's lost... he's gained a couple of positions, but he's also lost a couple over the last couple of laps. Henry's getting very interested at the back of Impossible Bacon as well. Vengeance is very close to the back. We've got a yellow flag. Who is that? It looks like it could be a McLaren. But Vengeance is very close on the back of Viet here, and he's going to be looking to make an overtake. Obviously we have DRS now. It's no DRS down the pit lane, pit straight. We do get it on the 2 long straights in the second sector. So Vengeance is going to bide his time and wait to make that easy DRS overtake, or is he going to try and make one into the braking zone here? No, he's going to wait for the DRS a little bit later on. Yellow flag, and it's the AlphaTauri. Dommy's really struggling here at this race, and he's got no front wing, so back into the pits for Dommy Lee. Cornet, easiest overtake he'll make all day, and Rayner's probably going to overtake Dommy as well. So Dace isn't as close as he was to Lasser before. Another yellow flag. What's happening here? Dommy Lee is now retired from the race, so a very late comer into it. And there we go, PHG gets past Fiat down the straight and moves up into P5. Lasser and Dace are going wheel to wheel, and Dace has gone ahead of Lasser now. So Dace is leading the race. So this is the fight for P2, and Dace, as we say that, has picked up a 3-second time penalty, the first driver to do so. So these two drivers are fighting for P2 in the Drivers' World Championship. Holmesy's already won. Dace at the minute is going to be winning the P2 fight, and Lasser will be taking P3, but Toss is looking to get involved on track, and Kachow as well. Kachow's doing a very good job on his medium tyres. These medium tyres will come alive over the next couple of laps compared to the soft tyres. So the soft runners at the front, Dace, Lasser and Tosser, will all want to try and get ahead as much as they possibly can. And Indian Jesus has got some pace today. He's moving up through the field. He's got Via in his sights next as they come down the pit straight. So I don't know how the drivers read their pit marker boards. And who's that? That's Via. He's completely lost the car on the exit there, and I believe he is out of the race, and we've got a full course safety car. So that saves Rayner, and it saves Cornet, it saves Mark of Kenya, it saves Red Dog, and we have lost we've lost Via, so the safety car is out. So this is good for the soft tyre runners. They can put a set of... It's going to be too early for them to pit to do a 1-stop, so they're going to have to switch to a 2-stop unless they put the hards on. The hards will go to the end of the race. We've got 24 laps left, so if they want to stick the hard tyres on, they can, and they won't have to make another pit stop. Is that correct, Holmesy, if you're listening? You are the tyre man. And Rayner's got a 5-second speeding penalty in the pit lane. Complete schoolboy error, that one, penalty wise. Red Dog's picked up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Yeah, so Holmesy's comments will be, hards will be very slow, but will they be slow enough to warrant not making another pit stop? Who knows? Who knows? You're going to kind of want to see what the front drivers do. So let's see what Dace and what Lasser do, and then what Toss does as well. So are they going to come into the pits, or are they going to stay out? They need to do another 5 laps on these softs to make the 1-stop. With Dace pits, Lasser pits, Toss the Caber pits. So Kachow is... No, he's not. He's sneaky little dummy coming into the pit lane there. So Kachow is staying out. And who else is going into the pit lane? It's not coming up. Who's in the pits, for goodness sake? Come on. Right, here we go. Finally coming up with the pit lane. So we've got Henry, who started on the mediums, stays out on the mediums. So does Exotic. Dace Lasser and Toss will put mediums on. Vengeance is putting the mediums on. So is Delta. No, Delta's staying out because he started on the medium, so he's up now to P8. Toss comes out in P9 just behind. Bacon is on fresh soft, so Bacon's committing himself to the 2-stop. Soft, medium. Holmesy wants to call a red flag. Holmesy wants a red flag. Let's get a red flag in. Come on, we've had 3 today already. No, more than that, because of the F2 race as well. Let's get another red flag in. So far the lobby isn't glitching out, which is good. I speak too soon, but normally we've had to reset the lobby by now about 3 times. But yeah, Holmesy wants a red flag, and he's also saying Kachow to win. Kachow, as we said, is in first position on track, and the drivers who put the medium tyres on will have to pit again as well. Those medium tyres will not last to the end, so it's a bit neutralised here. Kachow is actually in net P1, even though he hasn't pitted, but he will be slightly slower than those who are on the fresher medium tyres, but not a lot. The medium tyres, as Holmesy probably says, can probably go about 18 laps, but you will be pushing them towards the end. Red Dog went for the hard tyre, so let's watch out for Red Dog's pace. Might be a bit slower than the mediums, or going to the medium, but he doesn't have to pit again if he doesn't want to. If he wants to, that's fair play. That's fair enough. So let's watch out for the fastest lap. Who's got the fastest lap right now? That's Dace with a 39 flat, 39.005. Henry needs to get that fastest lap to guarantee himself P3 in the championship. Corny at the minute. The safety car has definitely saved him. He'll be catching up to the back of the pack. And I say the safety car resets the race, and he will be joining at the back. Rayner. So not a good weekend for Williams. Obviously we lost Frank Williams last weekend, and this weekend they're both at the back of the grid, running 16th and 17th respectively. As I say, we have lost Viet, we have lost Domi, and we have lost Stuart Little. Viet and Stuart to on-track terminal damage, and Domi to a rage quit. So we have Kachow in P1, we have Indian Jesus in P2, and look who that is in P3, taking advantage of the starting on the medium tyres. Will into P3, Henry into P4, showed great pace in qualifying, but then got disqualified. I think he said he spun on a curb, face backwards on the fast right-hander, and that does disqualify you, unfortunately, sometimes. So Henry, on provisional pole, got thrown to the back of the grid, and he is now in P4. Exotic in P5, and the first of the pitters is Dace Lasser, and then Delta is in front of Toss. Delta very much reminds everybody of Fernando Alonso. Makes his car as wide as the M25. Doesn't let too many cars past. Makes it very hard to overtake. He'll put his hands up and say he's not the quickest driver in this league, but he takes advantage of every single thing that comes his way. And if he's in P8, he want to keep P8. He wants that. So watch out for Delta blocking, not even blocking, just making it very difficult for Toss to get the overtake done. Safety car is coming in this lap. Both Williams have now caught up to the back. So Kachow, after the next corner, next couple of corners should I say, will be becoming the default safety car. So let's ride on board. Who should we pick up? Let's pick up Will. Let's ride on board with Will. So this is your podium. Will on board, then Indian Jesus in front, and Kachow just in front of that. It's your net podium at the minute. When is Kachow going to bolt? Kachow has bolted. He went early, but Indian Jesus definitely predicted that, and he's very close to the back. Will not quite so much. We've got a yellow flag at the back, and it's a McLaren and a Williams, I believe. Both Williams are involved. as Will is following in that dirty air, loses a bit, just about manages to keep it there. And Henry is very close to the back of these guys as well. Yellow flag, and it's a McLaren. And it's Red Dog spinning around. He's going to get back on to the straight and narrow. And let's get the intervals back up, see what the overtakes are. So Kachal's obviously running a very slippery setup, as we've already seen before. Because as soon as Stewart moved out the slipstream to make the overtake, it was there, but here comes India up the inside. Is he going to make the move stick? No, he's not. Kachal brakes very late and keeps his P1. Awful camera angle, can't see exactly what's going on there at all. And Henry, very twitchy on the exit, gets a warning for that and a first 3-second time penalty. As we watch the drivers come into this section, still as we were before. Chow in the lead, Indian Jesus in P2 and Willands in P3. Henry in P4, he's very close to the back of Will there. Is he going to look to make a move up the inside into the braking zone here? No, he's not. And we have Indian Jesus is out. That was a huge accident there. And we have another safety car. Not quite sure what happened. It looked like he might have tagged the wall and then tagged the back of Kachal. Kachal still staying there. I'm not really sure exactly what happened there. All we saw in the very far part of the screen was Indian Jesus absolutely spinning it round. So again, this thankfully saves Red Dog and he's able to catch up to the back. Now in Jeddah last week, we had one safety car and one DNF from terminal damage. Abu Dhabi had 9 laps so far. We've had 3 DNFs from terminal damage and 1 VSC and 2 safety cars. So who we got in the pits? We've got a Ferrari and we've got Williams and we've got the McLaren of Red Dog. Red Dog is possibly serving a 5-second penalty, puts a set of medium tyres on this time. Comes out the pits. Cornet coming out the pits. Mark of Kenya coming out the pits. Also Kenya put on hard tyres. Cornet put on a set of used scrub mediums and Red Dog on a set of fresh medium tyres. So it's still pretty good for the medium tyre runners. They are going to want to stay out as long as they possibly can on these mediums, but also try and pull away and hopefully not another safety car for them for a little while, because it will start messing up with their strategy, because they're going to get to the point where they're not going to be able to just drive away. Just reading up, catching up on what's happening in the Discord. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. Henry's penalty was for 1 warning apparently. So there's obviously a bit of glitching going on. I think we're probably going to have the safety car for 1 more lap, and then hopefully we're going to get some clean laps coming in. A few clean laps of racing. The first few were pretty good. So we started a bit later this evening. It's due to the in real life race that was happening around Saudi Arabia and Jeddah this evening. It was interesting, to say the least. Must admit. Lots of talking points. Lots of stewards talking points as well. And just as we were going around the safety car, didn't realise they were going to the stewards. Hamilton, they've been summoned to the stewards office. So we'll see what happens. See what happens between those two. Just Make a bit of catch up while we're waiting for the safety car to come in. It should be coming in this lap. All the drivers are back behind each other, not really waiting for anything. And yeah, we'll hopefully be going racing at the end of this lap. Got the Aston Martin safety car today. Saw it a lot this afternoon, earlier on this evening. Not as much as we should have done though. Obviously there's a lot of debris on the track. We should have been clearing that up a little bit earlier than what they were doing so. Just bringing out the VSCs, and there we go, confirmation that the safety car is in this lap very early. Normally it's a little bit later on, but there we go. There we go. So Kachau is backing the pack up very early. Interesting. So Will has inherited P2. Indian Jesus definitely guessed well when Kachau bolted earlier. And there goes the safety car. It's already a corner ahead of Kachau as they come around here. There they come. So when is Kachau going to bolt? Let's watch his telemetry. Oh, it looked like he was going to go there. This is where he went last time, but he's going a lot. There he goes. He's gone now. So did Will guessed pretty well. He wasn't too far behind. Exotic got a good getaway as well. Will isn't going to be close enough to make an overtake into turn 1. Cornet in the pits. What's happened to Cornet? He's having a mare of a race. Kachau leads us away. Rayner gets past Righty Boy, so both Ferraris side by side now, coming through the quite twisty section. Yodi's got a 3-second time penalty. And Yodi gets ahead of Vengeance, so Yodi's ahead of Vengeance into P10. Vengeance and Yodi are fighting. Vengeance is fighting back. Dace is chasing down his fellow countryman Exotic. Henry sitting in P3. So all these drivers have to make at least one more pit stop, because these medium tyres will not go to the end of the race that they put on earlier. Doesn't look like there's any moves for any overtakes just yet. Obviously cars getting very close, tossed side by side with Delta. Delta making his car wide, follows through, and Delta gets done by Impossible Bacon, so he loses 2 positions in the space of 1 corner, unfortunately. Fighting very hard with Tosta made Tosta work for that overtake. Unfortunately doing so ensured he lost a bit of time to Bacon as well, and Bacon slips through into P8 on those fresher soft tyres, so he has got the tyre advantage. Yodi now chasing quite close behind. Dace is very close to the back of Exotic. Exotic didn't look like he got the greatest exit out of there, but manages to get the power down, and he starts pulling away from Dace actually down into turn 1. And Henry is very close to the back of Willans here, so expect to see oh, who's that? Henry, very wide. Henry's off the track, comes across. Oh, thank God for ghosting. And toss, as Ben Rawi said earlier, brown trouser moment. So we're going to watch right on board with Dace. As I jumped on board with Henry there, it just went just off the track. I didn't know where he was going. But here comes Dace. He's on board with Exotic. He goes past Exotic. And there we go. Dace overtakes Exotic down the first straight. And Dace is now up into P3. He's going to chase down Will for the P2 position. And then hopefully, if he can get past Will quick enough, he can then start chasing down Kachau. Put Kachau under some pressure. Make Kachau use those old medium tyres that he's got. Lasser has to get ahead of Exotic quickly as well. Sparking from Exotic, very low to the ground, these car setups these days. It's a skid plate, and a bit twitchy there from Lasser on the exit of that corner, as we saw from his wing cam. Exotic looked to get quite a... There goes Lasser down, tries to go up the inside into the double right-hander, but decides to give that up and slots back in behind him. Delta's got Yerdy, and he's got Vengeance very close behind, and there goes Vengeance, very twitchy on the exit there. Not sure if that's just internet glitching or he lost a bit of the car. Dace is another time where this is about where Henry lost the car earlier. Henry's obviously gone down to P12 now. Dace, DRS has been enabled, so Dace will get DRS on this straight. He is within the time frame, so if Dace can get this overtake done quickly. Cornet sets the fastest lap of the race, which is what he needed to do, but he also needs to win the race to get P4 in the standings, which he isn't doing just yet. So here comes Dace. Gets past Will, and Dace has moved himself up into P2, and lots of overtakes happening there. So here goes Lasser, exit of that corner. Lasser has got past Exotic, there he goes. So Lasser is now past Exotic into P4. He's got Will up ahead, he has to get past Will quite quickly. Henry is getting bullied out a little bit there. Delta, oh, very side by side, bit of wheel banging going on there, and Henry up the inside of Delta. Delta's fighting back hard though, and Delta's going to have the inside line for this double right-hander. Gives that up, and there's two Ferraris all over the back of him as well. Delta's fighting very hard, but unfortunately it is making him lose positions by fighting. And there's a Ferrari around. Not sure if the two Ferraris that are coming together. That's Righty Boy, lost to a front end plate, and he'll be going probably into the pit lane to go and put a new front wing on. Cornet, unfortunately, right at the back of the grid. Set the fastest lap of the race, which is what he needs to do, but he needed to win the race as well. So Lasser hasn't managed to get past Will just yet, and there is, as I said that, I noticed Will's back end of the car was going around a little bit, and he is now dropping down the grid, and he's all the way at the back. Exotic had to go wide to avoid, so Exotic's lost a load of positions as well. And Toss and Bacon are fighting it out hard. Bacon's soft tyres are probably going to start to feel a little bit worse for wear, but he's got a lot of pace, and here goes Toss. He's going to have DRS on Bacon. Are we going to see a move up the inside? Toss takes the inside line. Bacon tries to fight him back, but it's not going to be where it's a complete and utter losing battle with the DRS down that long straight. But Bacon, I believe, we'll have DRS for this one. Yeah, it's not. It used to be a double DRS, where the second DRS straight you wouldn't get it. We got an incident at the back. I believe it's involving Will and Delta. Delta very wide there. Wheel to wheel with Will, and awful camera angles. Will gives that position up. Delta muscles his way through. Red Dog into P11, so he's having a good comeback drive from the incidents he's been involved in. Henry up to P9 now. He will have to think about pitting shortly, probably in the next 4 or 5 laps. Kachow, amazingly, gets a 3-second time penalty. So are those tyres starting to go off a little bit? Dace has caught up 2 seconds. So Dace is in a good position here to win this race. So keep an eye out for Dace, because Dace is going to be in a position here to make an overtake for the lead of the race. We've got a yellow flag. I'm not sure what that is. It's a Red Dog, unfortunately. His Red Dog is around, and there is a McLaren involved, a Ferrari involved in that as well. It's a yellow flag. We haven't got a safety car just yet. Yes, we have. Just as I say that, the safety car comes out. So this isn't good news for the medium tyre runners, because if they put a set of soft tyres on, the soft tyre... Oh, if Holmesy, are you still watching? Will the soft tyres make it to the end of the race? Holmesy, you need to answer me. Obviously the drivers on the medians, yeah, so they will. So if they do put the soft tyres on now, they will make it to the end, but they'll be absolutely dead. This is what I was thinking. I think it's too far to push the soft tyres. So who's that? Kachow, Henry, Exotic, Delta, Will all have a decision to make. What do they do? Kachow, boxes, and Lasser comes into the... Oh, in. Stay out from Lasser. I believe that could be... We'll watch that. If he wins the race, we'll stick it in the stewards chat and see what we do with that. But Lasser stayed out. Kachow pitted, and he is putting on the soft tyre. He's got to hope this safety car... Oof. Just realised there's the patch that Cody's released. There's no more unsafe releases. Holmesy's calling for no further action. Fellow Dutchie. The unsafe pit release isn't a thing, so you just get, as soon as your pit stop's done, you get sent. Saves you getting held up stupidly by the game's mechanics. So Dace is now leading the race with Lasser in P2, Toss in P3. However, I don't believe these mediums will go another 13 laps. That'll put them on 24 laps by the end of the race, so they're going to have to all pit again. Kachow is in no man's land. He had to pit to put the soft tyres on. Exotic put the softs on. Henry put the softs on. Delta's going to try and go to the end of the softs. Will as well. Cornet's out to P13. Red Dog in P14. Rusty Boy at the back in P15. So it's going to be very... And Yerdy put the hard tyre on. So Yerdy's actually in a pretty good position here, because everyone ahead of him is going to have to pit, or they're going to be very slow on their tyres. So Holmesy believes that Lasser and Dace probably can go to the end, but he thinks Kachow will be much faster. So yeah, we've got to watch out. Kachow is going to be very fast at when the race restarts compared to the drivers ahead. So Kachow has to get ahead of them quickly and then drive off into the distance and get as far ahead as he possibly can before his tyres decide to go, unless he decides to save them. No matter which way he does it, he will be on the edge of grip for the last 4 or 5 laps. So we've got to watch out for that. Lasser again does the same thing. I don't know what Lasser's doing there. Because that's going to start messing people up, because he was off track, so Toss went past and Lasser went, laughed my ass off. I'm not sure what Lasser is doing there. Keeps coming into the pits. He's going to start glitching himself out with time penalties. Kachow's obviously watching this up ahead, probably thinking, what are they doing? Impossible Bacon in P5, Vengeance, they will all go to the end easily on these medium tyres. They're in a good position. Yeah, Callie, he's got the Red Bull track, which means you can cut corners and drive off track and gain advantage without being penalised for it. Up until this weekend, obviously, he's got penalised a few times this weekend. So let's watch. Let's do Lasser watch. What's his lines like through here? I believe the safety car's going to be in this lap, so he probably won't be able to do it. If he does do it again, he's stupid, because Toss will overtake him. So the drivers who've lost today is Mark of Kenya, Indian Jesus, Viet, Domi and Stewart. Exactly, he's just testing next week's layout, isn't he, Holmesy? Just testing next week's layout, even though the layout he's using isn't the one that's the new track layout for next week. So the last 2 safety cars have been led by Kachow. This time is going to be led by Dace. I didn't see the sign flash up if the safety car was coming in this lap, but we'll see what Dace starts to do. It appears to be, as Dace is starting to back off a little bit, and he will become the safety car around the final corner. Yeah, the safety car's coming in. Let's see what Dace does. When does Dace bolt? He's going to leave it a little bit later. He goes on the exit of the corner, and Lasser timed that pretty well, gets away well. Kachow on those soft tyres. Let's watch Kachow into this corner. He's going to want to get past Toss the Caber as quickly as he possibly can. Doesn't make the move here. Toss runs very wide, and Kachow has got one position already. We've got a yellow flag. Who is that? That is Rainer Zufal is spinning around, and Dace is leading us away into the first chicane. Kachow gets that move done very quickly, as I've mentioned. Toss is looking to go round the outside of Kachow there, and unfortunately, with Toss going so far wide, Bacon says thank you very much. That slips through into P4, so Bacon now into P4. Yerdy, with those hard tyres, is not going to get the good exits compared to other people. He is going to try and fight back round the outside into the braking zone here, but doesn't get that done. And Kachow runs very wide there, and he's got Bacon up on his outside, sorry, and Bacon is going to make the move there, wheel to wheel, and come on boys, driving a straight line. Kachow, and we have another safety car. Kachow is now out. Not the finale we really wanted. Is it really? I think what happened? Yeah, absolute madness. Let's get in the quick to the Discord. Kachow was in a good position to win the race. We've lost. So just as I was bigging up the lack of safety cars and the lack of DNFs over the last few weeks. Final race of the season never fails to deliver. And we now have our fourth safety car in 19 laps. We haven't had much racing. Struggling to stay awake at this point. Way past my bedtime. We started a week late. Week late? Oh, bloody hell. An hour late. But yeah, Callie, make sure you save some popcorn for me. Again, the two drivers out front haven't pitted. It would have been a good spot for them. But then, with the pack being so close, it might have been a good time for them to put the soft tyres on. Because you've got Vengeance just behind on 10 lap fresher medium tyres. Exotic and Henry both on the fresher soft tyres. Yerdy and now in P6. I still think Yerdy's in a very good position here to push for some big points. Same with Delta. Delta's in a reasonably good position here, but those soft tyres will be it's a good blessing in disguise actually for the drivers who put the soft tyres on, as they will be lasting a lot longer. They'll probably go to the end reasonably easy now. They will still be feeling not at their best come the end of the race. But they will they'll be a lot better than where they would have been before. Yes, big controversy. Let's have a quick read about what's going on in the anything in the Discord. Okay. Right, yeah, we've lost Kachow from the Discord. He's done apparently. Okay. Okay, mate. Yeah, big mad. He's always big mad. Happens, you know. But there you go. Anyway, so we're under safety car conditions again. And we come, let's say, with 8 laps remaining. Yeah, he'll be back, but he'll also be gone again, then back again, then gone again. as is what always happens. Unfortunately, about the fourth or fifth time he's actually left the server, only to come back in some guise. But who knows? It's not a season of SFR without a Kachow rage quit from the server. I think it's happened in every single season so far, actually. Emotional, very much so, Stein. Probably very emotional, very German emotions. Mein Kampf muss das sein. Probably the worst German accent you could. I don't know what Rainer's doing. Rainer's raging his gearbox. It's not good for Williams. They haven't got any spare gearboxes. Stop doing that. Yeah, you don't want to make a German angry. It's happened twice in the history of the world, and we know how that's both happened. Safety cars coming in this lap. We have 13 racers left racing at this racetrack. The race tyres, we have Dace, who's done 13 racing laps on his mediums. Lasser's done 13 racing laps on his mediums. We didn't do Lasser watch actually at the pit lane, see if he was using the racing line or taking the pit lane racing line. Completely forgot about Lasser watch while we were laying into Kachow. So Dace is the safety car again. This watch is onboard telemetry. Let's see when he bolts. He went quite on the exit, which I don't think is the right thing to do. You either go before or after, not on it, because it's a normal racing exit there for everyone else, and you're not going to take them by surprise. Let's see what Dace does this time. Is he going to move it a little bit longer? Does the same thing again, maybe a little bit later than it was before. Is Vengeance. It's a very good exit, and he's already side by side with Lasser, but it's not going to be ahead just enough to get the move done. So we have Dace leading us away from Lasser, from Vengeance, from Exotic. He's having a good race. He's not been in the greatest form recently, but he's having a good race today. Henry is having a good comeback drive after his little excursion. Yurdi in P6, Delta in P7 on those soft tyres, so he's going to be trying to make some moves on the McLaren of Yurdi very soon. What's the gaps out like at front? This isn't close enough to no DRS just yet for another 2 laps. And Dace is still leading us away. Vengeance in P3. Toss is spinning, and so is Will. Will is around. Will's at the back of the grid. Toss and Will don't go well together. They have history, and Will comes off worse off that time than Toss. And Toss is in P10 on those soft tyres, probably pushing harder than he probably would have usually been. Henry's very close to the back of Exotic. Red Dog gets a... what's the penalty situation like? Let's have a quick look, shall we? Penalties. 3 seconds for Dace, for Lasser, for Henry, for Yurdi. And who's that going into the wall? That was Delta Lima. Looks like his car is all alright. Makes that turn just about right enough. And unfortunately for Delta, he is now at the back of the grid. Will's gone past him. Another yellow flag. What's going on here? It's Yurdi is around. A bit of a messy final race of the season, this. Delta's just about to go through on Yurdi around the outside, up the inside. That's a good move there. Overtake of the race. Vengeance still not closing down. That Exotic punts into the back of Vengeance there. Brakes a bit too late. And Exotic gets the move done. And Red Dog is up into P5 now. Absolutely flying is Red Dog. He's had a horrible start to the race. put his finish to the race, and Vengeance gets that position back. Yeah, Vengeance robbed. However, I think it might have been the internet connection. He might have glitched in front of Exotic, which is why Exotic probably broke that. Who is that going diving up the inside there? Cornet trying to fight hard with Red Dog. We know Red Dog and Cornet don't go well together from past history. So Red Dog's going to making that McLaren as wide as he possibly can. Henry's very close to the back of Exotic now. DRS has now been enabled. Let's watch out for Cornet. Is he going to be close enough to Red Dog? No, he's not. Red Dog's dumping his ERS. Just about got enough. Henry is literally pushing Exotic through these few couple of corners. And who's that? Exotic spinning around. That's Karma, as Vengeance probably shouts as he's going through. What's happening there? What's happening? This is just... Oh, I can't cope. I absolutely can't cope. I've got no idea what is going on. This race has just turned into an absolute shit show, unfortunately. And yeah, Henry is now in P10. I don't know what on earth has happened there. Exotic drops down to P11. 5 laps remaining. Let's just get this season over and done with. I cannot wait for it to end now. It's a derby, absolute derby. It's the yeah. Righty Boy overtakes Rayner, and Rayner goes round the outside there. It's a good move from Rayner, round the outside of Righty Boy into and Righty Boy's now around. Oh, it's been a race of spins today. Unfortunately, Will is now back up to P8. Delta is in P11. Righty Boy's dropping down to P10. Alpine of Delta's coming up very close. Henry's got front wing. He's just got a little anti-to nose on the end of his car. Yerdy goes through him. Henry's actually retired, I believe. His car's ghosted, so I think Henry's gone. And gap at the front. Lasser has got a 3-second time penalty, but Dace has got 6. And Lasser's only half a second behind Dace here, so at the minute, if it stays as it is, Lasser wins the race. Or does he? No. Vengeance wins the race. Vengeance only 2.5 seconds behind, so Vengeance needs to stay within that. And Vengeance has won the race, even though he got spun round by Exotic earlier on. Cornet's looking to make a move on Red Dog. DRS assisted. There goes Cornet up the inside with DRS, and Rayner's going to look to make a move as well. So McLaren, Red Dog is in a Williams sandwich right now, and Rayner goes round, powers round the outside there, and Williams are now running P5 and P6 respectively. Lasser and Dace have swapped positions, so Lasser is now ahead of Dace. His medium tyres are probably screaming, and this is where the fastest lap's gone to Cornet with a 37.848. It's probably not going to be good enough for him to win the race. 5 seconds for Exotic for exceeding track limits. Completely wide at the infamous Keza corner. That's what it's now reknown as. He's obviously going to see the memorial that was set up there. Only cost him 5 seconds entry fee. And yeah, Cornet and Rayner running line astern. So are the Hatters of Vengeance and Toss in P3 and P4 respectively. Dace is losing a bit of time to Lasses. Lasses starting to get away. Willands has got a 3-second time penalty. We've got a yellow flag. That is... Oh, I can't keep up with all this. Rayner is around. Rayner's around. Rayner's in P8. We're never doing Abu Dhabi as a final race of the season again. It just causes too much chaos. Toss is looking to make a move, and he gets the move done on Vengeance. So Toss moves up into P3, but Toss does have a 3-second time penalty. Rayner's now dropped down to P9. Delta gets the move done, so Delta's now back up into the points. Exotic is retired. Exotic is out. Oh, that is just an on-track Yeah, I didn't think we could get even more eventful than Jeddah, Stein. I really didn't think we could. This is like races 1, 2 and 3 of the season when this first game first came out today. I can't keep up with everything that's going on. Vengeance isn't fighting as hard as he probably has to because he still wins the race. Vengeance is only 2.5 seconds behind the leader. The leader has a 3-second time penalty. There's 3 laps remaining and he has got fresher tyres. So all he has to do is just stay in that window. Stay in a 3-second window of Lasser and he wins the race. Cornet hasn't got a time penalty yet, so he's 6 seconds, just over 6 seconds behind Lasser. So he has to gain another 3 seconds. So Cornet has to start catching the field up a bit, start putting his foot down, and he could be on chance with a podium as well. Red Dog with 9 seconds worth of penalties, but he's in P6 and Will's got 3, so he's got a 6-second buffer that he has to try and open up. We're all aboard the Delta train at the minute, with all the drivers left in the race apart from Henry. So Delta is leading Righty Boy, Rayner and Yerdy through the twisty section here. Toss is getting very close to Dace. He's got DRS. Toss is going to go up the inside and Dace is overtaken. Is Dace going to try and fight it back? No, he's not. So Toss is now up into P2. This is all good news for Vengeance and it's good news for Cornet. As the more these guys fight, Righty Boy gets ahead of Delta, and Rayner is going to look to make a move as well. No, he's not. So Delta will have some DRS assistance on this part of the track, thankfully. And we've got a yellow flag. It's Dace is around. Dace is in the wall. Dace now drops to P7. Red Dog into P6. Righty Boy and Delta fighting hard through here. As Rayner's trying to slip through Righty Boy, yeets it over the curb, gets the move done on Delta. That's a good move there, and Rayner was going through there and Delta as well, but Delta fighting hard to keep Rayner behind him. And yeah, Lasser, so what's that, Hainsey? Lasser P2. So Lasser's leading the race, and Toss is in P2. Vengeance is still within that window. So Lasser has to start driving away and driving away fast. He's got a lap and a half to try and get a 7/10 gap to Vengeance. See, Vengeance is driving with fresher medium tyres. And Lasser and Toss have to work together here. As Vengeance gains 3 or 4 tenths there on both of them. Cornet is absolutely flying as well. Not sure as Toss gets ahead of Lasser, and again this is good for Vengeance. Toss is winning the race on track, but with those two keep fighting, it's not going to happen for them, unfortunately. Lasser's going to fight back. There goes Lasser around the outside of Toss. Lasser gets that done, sweeps around the outside, gets ahead of Toss, and Lasser retakes P1 on track. Toss back into P2. And Vengeance in P3. Lost a bit of time, even though those two were fighting. Vengeance lost a bit of time there. Obviously with the DRS they both had. Toss might win, never mind. I think Vengeance is going to win this personally. I think Vengeance is in a very good position here. He's not pushing, he's just staying within the window. And he's just, he's not going to get involved with the two fighting out in front. He's already got involved with Exotic once this race, and it didn't end very well for him. Again, Toss is very close. Lasser, Vengeance has gained half a second on them both here. Stein's predicting Vengeance to bottle the last corner. It's not. Callie Rob's not racing today. Callie Rob's the bottler normally on the last lap. As we are on the last lap now, Toss looked to make a move up the inside. Thought better it follows Lasser through the hairpin, but he will get DRS. Toss can get past. Is he going to do a... he's not got much DRS though. How much is Lasser? Lasser's got a little bit more. Toss has got... Yeah, Toss is doing the tactic. He doesn't want to overtake Lasser. The reason he doesn't want to overtake Lasser is because Lasser would get DRS for the next straight, and Lasser gets a bit squirrely on the exit. Toss did as well, got a bit put off, but Toss is going to have DRS here. Toss is going for the overtake around the outside. Lasser has to yield. Is he going to yield? No, he's going to do the max. He's going to send it late, turn into him, and bang wheels. That's a very Dutch Red Bull driver thing to do. And Toss takes the lead off the race, but Vengeance, all that's meant for Vengeance is that he is very, very close. Yeah, big brain time for Honesy says, for Toss. Had an idea that's what was going to happen. But yeah, Cornet is in P4, but he will jump, I believe now. Gap to the lead. No, he won't. Cornet will stay in P4. And as we come around the final corner, Toss wins the Abu Dhabi season finale SFR. Lasser came second and Vengeance came third, but look at that. Vengeance takes P1, latecomer to the race. Toss takes P2, and Lasser in P3. Cornet remains in P4, Will in P5, Red Dog with a great P6, Dace in P7, Righty Boy comes home in P8, Rayner in P9, no, Righty Boy in P9, Rayner in P8 due to penalties, and yeah, Vengeance had a good drive there, Stein, a very good drive. He kept it going. Red Dog gets driver of the day from Cody, so that was well deserved from him. Cody's obviously decided that. I can't remember where he started. So much action in that race. I can't remember where everything happened. So yeah, but Vengeance wins the race, lifts the winner's trophy, going to spray the champagne, and we've got a double Haas on the podium. Double Haas on the podium. So Toss is saying that his 3 seconds are definitely going to get removed. So that's an interesting, I'm not really sure what happened there with them, but let's have a look at all these DNFs we had. Long list of DNFs from P13 down, and Henry was a rage quit retirement on track. Fastest lap went to Cornet with a 1:37.848. Red Dog finished in P6 and he started P17, so that's a good drive from him. Will started P12, finished in P5. Vengeance started P9, finished in P1, so that's a really good drive from Vengeance. Toss in P2 to P2. Lasser P1 to P3. Other good drives were Righty Boy from 13 to 9, Yerdy from 14 to 10. Delta just missed out on the points, 15 to P11. And Rayner from 8 to 8. Thank you for joining us. That is SFR. That is a season over and done with. Not the race we would have wanted to finish on, personally. Very hit and miss with driving, but I think it just gets to the point where it's not a fun race, but standards do drop a little bit at the end of the season. Everyone pushing for final places, so I can see how that happened, but yeah, there we go. But that is yeah, SFR season 4 finished. We will be returning in 2022 first week and in January. Might be a few fun races in between that time, but nothing's planned just yet, so keep an eye out on the subscriptions and the Discords and whatever else you're doing. A bit of a mix-up. Some drivers are leaving us, some drivers are going to be joining us for next season, so keep an eye out on the YouTube channel for release of the calendar as well. And that is that. Season's come to an end. Honesy's the champion, Alpha Tauri are the Constructors champion, and overall a pretty good season. It's the longest one we've done so far. We normally have 12 race season, but this season we went to 16, so lots of races, lots of new tracks. Obviously we had Imola. We had what's the other tracks? We've had Jeddah and Portimao. So the 3 new tracks of the season. So that's 3 new circuits we've been to. We haven't been to Abu Dhabi for a while as well. Same with Brazil, and there's another track we hadn't been to for Russia. Russia was the other track. So quite a few new tracks that we haven't done. Hopefully Silverstone will make a comeback next year. We went there this year. Same with Monza. We didn't do Monza this year, so hopefully that will come back next season. But yeah, thank you once again for joining us and watching us and subscribing and liking, commenting on the YouTube. Keeps me entertained during the race. I can talk to you as well. But that's it. Thank you very much. That is over and out.